Fabian Society has had a powerful influence on British politics. So the Fabian Society is a British socialist organization whose purpose is to advance the principles of social democracy and democratic socialism via gradualist and reformist effort in democracies. They do this instead of having a sort of revolutionary overthrow, which tends to lead to lots of head chopping and that sort of thing. So they prefer instead to plan over the long term, take gradual steps, be very canny about how they go about doing something so that the change is not too drastic and doesn't arouse too much suspicion or attention or resistance. If you change things gradually, kind of like the classic metaphor of boiling the frog in the pot, you're more likely to get away with your plan over the long term than if you just try and force it all through in the short term and smack people over the head and get them to obey you, right? The Fabian Society has had a powerful influence on British politics. Crucially as well, the Fabian Society also founded the London School of Economics. So anytime you see the London School of Economics, which I've talked about on various other videos, you got to remember that this is founded by the Fabian Society, same kinds of people who were swimming in the circles of Alfred Milner and the Round Table Group. Today, the society functions primarily as a think tank and is one of 20 socialist societies affiliated with the Labour Party. Now, why the Labour Party needs 20 socialist societies, I don't know. It seems a lot, doesn't it? It seems a little bit uneven to have 20 socialist societies, but it kind of tells you where their sympathies lie, where their thinking lies, where they're going to take things once they are in power. And, you know, they are in power now for what it's worth if you believe that the party in power actually makes a difference. But this term think tank is very important to know because I think there's a very good case to be made that think tanks are really where the source of power lies. If you want to know who's making the decisions, who's calling the shots, who's doing the analysis, who's crunching the numbers, who's putting the data together to advise the politicians whose names we know and who are rolled out in front of the cameras and who are, voted into place, then you got to look at the think tanks and you've got to be aware of these institutions and these groups and these foundations and these think tanks, right? But Fabian Society, as we're going to find out, very influential, long-standing think tank, British think tank with international reach.